The boys are watching themselves on my vlog from yesterday. I've just introduced them to the world of video vlogging. Happy first day of third year for vlogging. I don't know what to say, what to call it exactly. But we're starting year 3 together right now. And I'm so excited for this year because I think it's going to be a good one. We will be having a performance in the bedroom.
Hey, let's get our instruments. 1, 2, 3. Why'd you count that?
1, 2, 3.
How'd you know me when you came? How'd you know that I'd be the same? I wonder if you're my friend. Now everyone acts the same.
Alright, nearly all of Sam's roommates from Chico are here now. They're going to go to the beach to go surfing. But he's having a great little time, a great little reunion with his bros. They're hiding somewhere.
My best friend really just stunk up the bathroom.
Are you serious?
Who's your best friend?
Beach day! So we've all paired up. It's me and Will. It's CP and Sam. And then, hey Dylan, do you guys remember Dylan from Las Vegas vlogs? He had long hair. He's a little bit chubbier.
He looked like
I am now, or I was?
Who'd you look like? Chris Pontius or something?
Chris Farley.
Chris Pontius.
He looks like Chris Pontius.
No, they said Thor. This is the one that you guys said looked like Thor. Chris Hemsworth.
Okay.
I don't see it.
So while the boys went to the beach, I worked on a little video that you've probably already seen by now, but if you haven't, you should check it out on my Datev Gallagher channel. I just picked out a bunch of my favorite clips from this past year of vlogging. I put it all together for you guys to see. It's like kind of like the funniest moments and the sweetest moments. I'll put a link in the description, but you should watch it. Also, what was I going to tell you? Oh, yeah. Jesse and James are coming to VidCon, which is just going to be great. It's going to be me, Allie, Jesse, James, Charles, and I think Allie's mom also. And I haven't seen those guys in so long, so we're going to have a great little time. And Allie's staying here, and Jesse and James will be staying here at our hostel. So we just have non-stop guests and non-stop fun for the next probably 2 months. And can you guys do me a favor and keep your fingers crossed, because I need all the luck I can get, because this camera is on its very last breath. It's really cracked in the back. All the screen's all messed up. The shutter almost didn't even open this time I turned the camera on, and I just wanted it to make it through VidCon because I can't get a new camera until after that. But I would be really bummed if it broke before VidCon. Okay, I'm switching over to my photo booth camera for a couple of reasons. One, it just makes this whole thing easier for me. But two, I feel like it tends to make me a little more honest for some reason. I don't know if it's because I feel like I'm doing a confessional, but for some reason it just makes me tell you guys more than when I hold my vlogging camera. So I'm going to try using this. I'm going to do a recap of my past year of vlogging, just as I did on my first year. I ended my first year of vlogging with a recap and an announcement that I would be officially moving to California. And so that's where I left off. And this is what has happened over this year. So the things that caused me to decide to move to California, I was only supposed to take the road trip up with Hannah and then fly back to Florida. But I ended up liking it so much. I had so much fun on the way up there. It was so adventurous, and I just felt like there was opportunity here in California. So I decided to stay, and I had a place I could live with Hannah. I also had started dating my ex-boyfriend from college. We had started dating again, and he lived in Los Angeles, so that was just another reason for me to move to California. And so I was really scared to make the decision, and there were still a lot of loose ends to figure out, but I decided to go for it. One of my goals was to move out of my parents' house, one of my goals for that year, so I was like, let's just do it and see what happens. And at this point, I had been vlogging for a year, and so I really liked it, and I was making a little bit of money doing it, but it wasn't really a full job yet, so I was still editing wedding videos, and I really didn't have an exact plan of what I was going to do for a living or what I was going to do in California. so I was really scared to make that decision, and it was really risky. I started living with Hannah. And I started like doing odd jobs. Like I was a trophy girl for one of her events at her company, and I was just doing weird little things. And I was editing wedding videos, but I couldn't really figure out a way. I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I couldn't figure out how to do it because I didn't have a car. And we lived at that time. Our apartment, we lived far away from anywhere, and I was making enough doing wedding videos, but I was kind of like cooped up in the apartment all the time, and I just had no clue what I wanted to do. So I had a big break where I didn't have to think about it. I went home for about a month. I went back to Sarasota, and I had a huge favor that I wanted to return to a cousin of mine. I went and visited her in France, where she lived in southern France for, I think, 10 days or so. And it was amazing. It was like one of the most memorable, it was one of the greatest experiences I've had so far. And I really wanted to return the favor to her. So she came to the U.S. to visit. And so I wanted to be there, and I wanted to take her out to all these places, and we went to New York. We had a really great time. She's my exact age, so we just, even though there's a little bit of a language barrier, she speaks English, but I don't speak really any French, just a little bit, so we still, we're family, and we still felt very close, and we have a lot to talk about, and so it was great to see her. So I went home to Sarasota for about a month, which was good for my vlog and stuff like that, because I got to get advice from Allie and Charles, and I got to hang out with a lot of my creative friends there. And then I came back to California, and let's see, I uploaded In the Grove, which was so amazing. It had such a great response. I don't necessarily mean that everybody loved it. A lot of people didn't like it also, but there was just a lot of conversation about it. People did a lot of comments, and it right now has 30,000 views, which is, I think, one of my higher viewed videos. And all of my films I've made previously have not gotten that many views anywhere that I've gone with it. So it was a really great experience, and that's when I really started to see the value of vlogging and having a YouTube channel and having this community of people that I could communicate to about ideas and the creative process. And I was like, this is really cool. Like, I wonder if I could figure out a way for maybe YouTube, even though this might sound like a crazy idea, what if YouTube was my only job? And so I started cutting back on the amount of wedding videos that I was editing in order to spend more time on my YouTube stuff. And I started my second channel, Datev Gallagher. And I started that actually the year before I did like just cooking shows. But I started to do more creative things. Anything that I thought of, I did movie reviews. I did songs that I wrote. I did poems and like little short films and stuff like that. I started uploading that to my second channel. We got to spend a lot of time with Sam and Kevin, who lived in Nevada and California, who we really didn't get to see very much at all when we lived in Florida. And so we started spending a lot of time with them. We had a lot of great memories. We went to really good concerts. We had a really fun Halloween together. So we started spending more time with them. But there came a point where I started getting very, very worried. And honestly, this has probably been the hardest year of my life as far as questioning myself. And feeling self-conscious and feeling like a failure. I was having tons of fun, but I'm somebody who, I want to feel really accomplished, and I want to be organized, and I want to be responsible, and those are all things that are really important to me. And although I was doing lots of fun things, when I moved to California, I was cooped up in the apartment all the time because I didn't have a car. I was happy to be vlogging, but I just felt like I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't creating enough. And although I was making more money than I was before, I was not going to be making enough to be paying my student loans and to be paying rent. And so I was getting very, very worried. And because I started dating the boyfriend that I was dating from college, who was also a film student, I was hanging out with all my friends from film school a lot more, and I was just seeing what they were doing, and I was like, should I be doing what they're doing? Like, is it weird the way that I'm going about my career? And I started to really question myself. I'm like, am I lazy? Am I, like, I felt like I was working really hard for barely any money and barely any, like, satisfaction. Like, I wasn't making movies anymore. And I just started to get really confused. And I think in one of those vlogs, I talk about I go on a little hike, and I just start to think about, like, what is going to be my plan. And I really thought for a moment that I was going to have to just stop making YouTube videos, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of creativity, and you don't get a lot of money from it, to begin with, like depending on how many views you get. It's not really like you shouldn't do it for the money because that's not what you're going to get out of it. And I didn't have enough time or resources to really make the high quality stuff that I wanted to be making. So I just was really hard on myself and really critical of myself, and I didn't feel good at all. I am having a stressful day, you guys, and I don't like it. So I decided to come up here and find some clarity. It's nothing that bad. I just like financial stuff and like life plan stuff and the stuff you're supposed to have figured out by the time you're 30. Just all crashing in on me right now. I'm feeling overwhelmed, so I decided to come up here. But I'm going to try and laugh about it and stay happy and positive and not get attacked by a mountain lion while I'm up here. I got really, really low at one point, and my boyfriend at the time, we just had very different ideas of what success was and what happiness was, and I wasn't really getting the type of support from him that I wanted. I just felt worse about myself, and it was just a really, really bad time, and the hardest time I've ever had when reflecting upon myself. And so I really thought I was going to have to move back to Florida and reformulate a plan. I was going to have to quit YouTube. And then a weird kind of course of events started to happen. And I just been feeling really uninspired because I just didn't believe in myself, really. And I feel bad because I didn't portray a lot of that in the vlogs. Like, if you pay really close attention, you can kind of tell my moods and things like that. But I'm going to get better at it, but sometimes I'm scared to tell you guys stuff like that because I want to be an inspiration to you, and I want to feed you positive things, like the positive parts of my life, because when you guys are having hard times, I want you to be able to come to my vlog and to be inspired and to feel good about yourself. I don't want to complain. I don't want to talk about how tough life is sometimes, but I'm going to be more dimensional with that stuff this coming year. That's one of my goals. But I was just having a really, really hard time. You know, and I was just stressed, and I just I couldn't sleep a lot of the time because I was just thinking, like, what am I going to do? Like, have I just made this horrible, horrible mistake? Should I have done, like, the normal course of action and moved to LA and started working on sets? Or should I not have even tried to be a filmmaker? Like, this is, like, a crazy, difficult job to do. So, yeah, that was around November, or late October, early November, right when I hit my bottom. My boyfriend of the time came to see me in San Clemente, and we had been bickering a little bit because of what I talked about, our differences, and like trying to figure out a way that we could create, you know, a future together, because of how different our lives were and how I don't think he really liked what I did, and so we had been trying to figure that out, and he came to San Clemente, and I thought that he was going to tell me that, like, we were going to work it out, and we'd figure out, you know, a way for both of our lives to work side by side. And when he came to tell me that he had cheated on me, and that he still wanted to be with me and work things out, but that he had been unfaithful to me, and that he was very sorry. And after that, I thought I couldn't get any lower, and then that happened. And I felt like even more of a failure. I felt like, am I not a good enough girl? Like, am I not a good enough woman or girlfriend or partner, that someone like that, my significant other, would betray my trust and would disrespect me like that? And that was like, I don't know, my world kind of crashed. And I remember when he told me, I couldn't even breathe. I felt like I was going to throw up. And I know I haven't told you guys any of this before, but I really just wanted to be honest with you about this, because now I've had time to reflect on it, and I've learned a lot from it. So I wanted to tell you guys this. And so I just felt like, I remember my knees buckled. I was just like, can this get any worse? Like, can I feel like any more of like a loser, or like I don't know, like a failure? And so I remember I went back in the house and I told Hannah what happened, and we got on the phone with Sam, and we got on Skype with Kevin. I was talking to all my friends, and like within an hour, I realized how amazing my group of friends are, like how unreal they are, and how supportive they are, and how they were able to get me laughing within an hour of that happening. And they made me feel like no matter what had happened, I needed to keep going after my dreams. I needed to not give up, and that I was special, and that I deserved something fantastic. And so I was able to get through that night with my friend's help, especially Hannah. She was so helpful. just being really positive and trying to make me laugh for the next couple of weeks when I was really down. And I remember I shot a clip of me, and I cried probably every day for about a week. But I filmed myself crying a couple of times because I wanted to share it with you guys. Oh my goodness, you guys. The difficult situations just keep piling up today. I have had probably the roughest day I've had in a very long time. Just laying still a little bit from my tears. But Hannah and I are going to make some cookies to make things better. And I hate admitting it. Like, I'm embarrassed saying that I'm still sad. But I promise I will be happy soon. So during that really difficult week, that first week where he had told me that he cheated on me and where I didn't know what I was going to do with my life, Sam invited Hannah and I to come to his family Thanksgiving, which was great because Hannah and I weren't going to be able to go home. It would have just been her and I. And so we went, and Kevin and our friend Jeff Dean ended up meeting up with us afterward. And we went to Big Sur and we went camping in the Redwoods. And it really turned my perspective around really fast. It was just so beautiful, and it just reminded me of what was important to me. Like, I love traveling, I love nature, I love stories and characters and friends, and I just got to have some really good conversations with people I really respected in some beautiful environments, and I just was suddenly inspired again. And I feel like my strength started to build. So this next thing that I'm going to talk about, I'm a little bit hesitant to talk about because it's really personal, but like I said, I'm going to just try and be as honest as possible with you guys for this next year, because I think it would also be helpful for me to look back and really know what I was going through, so that I don't make the same mistakes. And so I haven't been upfront with you about my romantic relationships in the past, because I was scared, you know, what if they don't work out, or what if this person doesn't want me to talk about it. But that's just part of life, and that might happen. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about my romantic life also, because that's a big part of my last year.